Gone are the days when leadership was always about our fathers, our grandfathers. Today we have so many young people who are into leadership and are willing to bring the transformation that we are looking for to make our lives better. Welcome once again to The Profile. My name is Christine Nyasenga and we are always here to serve you, providing stories that inspire, motivate and empower you. You can find these conversations on YouTube and Instagram. With me today is a special guest and I'm going to leave the introduction entirely to him. You're most welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good evening, viewers, and thank you so much, Madam Nyasenga, for this great opportunity. My name is Bernard Katanzi. I'm the retiring former, or you would say an outgoing chairman of NRM at Kampala International University. And it's a pleasure having you. Yes, I'm so happy.
You're most welcome to the profile. So when do you realize you can actually be a leader?
That's a huge question. But I will briefly go through the process of my realization that I can really make a leader. I begin as a class monitor in a Fadi primary school in our village, our locality. That's when and another thing that also gave me this feeling that I can really make a good leader and pursue leadership was the fact that we grow up in a family of many children at home. But my father was this appreciative man. Whenever I would have some small but important thing to do, he would appreciate me. And therefore I begin to feel that really I can really do better. And when now I go to school, that's how now I get the confidence of standing and leading my class, as I have told you, as a class monitor. That's how I begin to penetrate. And you know, as a class monitor, you a leader because you have challenges to do with your fellow classmates. There are challenges. You know how you handle them. You know how you present the problems of your people to the stakeholders and the big people. That bridging of the two class of people, and the fact that I would do it with passion and love, I was inspired to move ahead. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so maybe let's take a look at being the NRM chairperson, right?
Okay.
So what is that and what does it mean to be the NRM chairperson in school?
The NRM chairperson, it is a challenging post of leadership to people that have really battled to mean it, in the sense that NRM is the ruling party, and in that sense, it has got achievements and failures. So being an NRM chairman at a university like KIU or other universities, you really represent government. So whatever challenges the government, or whatever failures or missions that the government have to do, all fellow students see you presenting that picture. So it is really a very challenging post that you have to battle and really make sure that you can stand firm and defend your party.
Okay. Yes. All right. So how is it like different from state? How is school leadership different from state level leadership?
From national leadership.
Yes, maybe.
School leadership is not far different from national leadership, because especially at a university level, what is the small difference is that what small difference that is there is that here you only taking a small portion of people, and you are at the university, so your whole focus and your fellow students is education. That's the only difference. But student leaders face the same challenges as national leaders.
Okay. So, like in case of being on the opposition, so is there opposition at the university, or everyone at the university should be on the party?
In conformity with the NRM?
Yes.
Is it what you wanted to ask?
Yes.
Not at all.
Okay.
There is a huge opposition in universities, but this opposition is caused by a number of factors, which I think our national leaders should try to look into. These leaders, our elders in the government and other big offices, have created a bridge between themselves and the students or the young people, and that now difference is causing a lot of parallel sort of movement, whereby you find young people are now discipline-wise. Of course, discipline is inseparable with leadership. So discipline-wise and how leadership is understood at our level is completely complacent and different from how these elders understand leadership. That's why you are seeing the trend of these unstandard members of parliament being voted today and massively voted and loved. People that these national leaders, many of them say that they are not fit to lead. They are actually taking the day. It is because they have bridged. They have not created that bridge. They have formed a difference, and a huge difference between themselves and us. Yes.
So that means like leadership actually is starting way back from school, from the institutions.
Absolutely. Leadership starts from here. And at the university level, it is the nursery bed of leadership. It is when any leader should understand what being a leader is in every sphere and sector of life, whether in discipline-wise, whether how to conduct yourself in people, how to communicate, and everything. All these skills of leaders, a leader should possess, must be acquired at the university level. The moment a leader leaves university without some of these skills, that's where you find that we are going to get half-baked leaders. Yes.
Okay, now on that, like, what do you think the major leadership quality a leader should not miss out? What do you think is that quality that a leader shouldn't miss out on?
The most important, there are many important qualities any leader should have, but one of them, you see, when we say discipline, it's a notion that entails or connotes a lot of things. When you talk about discipline, you mean listening, you mean, how someone conducts themselves in public, how to communicate, how to even dress, a lot of things. But discipline, and on top of discipline, a leader should have information.
Corruption has become rampant and almost a trend here in Uganda. Everywhere, everyone is talking about corruption. Do you think there is also corruption in school? And if it is there, in what form? What form is it taking?
You see, corruption remains corruption. And when we are studying corruption at a high school level, we dissected it into a lot of things. To even mean delaying arriving at the job, favoritism, you favor a brother or a sister or a girlfriend, so that is all corruption. And it is what is at the university. You find that a leader, like a good president, or any leader is trying more to favor his side and leaving out the other side of the people. But what causes this? You see, when lawyers are discussing some of these things, we look at the mischief of any phenomenon or any incident. Whatever happens, we try as much as we can to see far back and determine the mischief of that specific action. Now, an action like corruption is entirely caused by lack of a national spirit. One may call it patriotism. Because the moment I don't see you like a sister or a brother, just because you are Acheng and I am Serunjoji or something else, I begin having that sense of selfishness, to the extent that I can even eat out something that was not supposed to be mine, or take it to someone else behind me, a brother or a colleague from my tribe, at your expense. So this is the most root cause of corruption. People are not having a national spirit. People are not patriotic in nature. And this is why you are finding someone is grabbing a lot of monies and state resources, yet he cannot actually consume that money even in his lifetime, his or her lifetime. It is because he or she thinks that when they grab that money, it will be used by his family or her family or even the descendants, forgetting out that even the other young man or boy suffering, not going at school, far back in Dokolo or Kotido or in Rukunjiri or somewhere else, is also a human being just like him or the descendants of herself.
So, when you look at our leadership here in Uganda or our governance, how do you look at it compared to other countries?
Our leadership is our leadership, especially on a national level. Personally, I would say we have the perfect leader, and I want to be clear: we have a perfect leader, and that is none other than President Yoweri Museveni. Purposely, basically because when you try to look around, he's the one who has helped this country to transform from where it was up to where it is. These other Ugandans are not, I would say they don't meet his personal qualities. Because when you look at his, when you study his history and his background, he is someone who thought more of Uganda and less of himself or the family and his life. He sacrificed all his life for Uganda. Such leaders are very few in this world, but we are lucky that as Uganda we're having one. But the rest of the leaders, you can just discuss them just like you see them. They valley. We have also got those who are nurtured and very good, and that there are some of the people that have helped him actually shift Uganda from where it was and where it is currently.
Okay, so what do you think, like, the president himself should do to curb the problem of corruption?
It is hard for him as a person, and I want to say he has tried. As history may show it to you, he has tried as much as he can. The rest of the part is for I, you, and other Ugandans out there. It's us who should come back to ourselves. We think of our country and, try to forge the future of Uganda from those two dissects. When we take the arena of corruption, where will Uganda be in the next 20 years? Where will Uganda be when we decide to curb corruption and prevent it by our own? Because it is us who, in fact, who are corrupt.
Okay. So let's say, what is your greatest fear as a leader or in leadership?
My greatest fear is ignorant people, or ignorant society. Yes. You see, when you see the nature of our society and the reasoning of our people, not to that, because President Kagame was recorded sometime being asked what most achievement is that he would be proud of in Rwanda. And he was very bold and clear, mentioning that he transformed the mind of the mind and the reasoning of Rwandans. So the moment you have a civilized society, a civilized, group of people, and you're leading that very group of people, you face very little challenges. But I would say my fear and a fear of any leader is to lead a group of people who are very ignorant, who do not even know what their leader is up to. So you end up messing up. You take a different, absolutely.
So if today you became the president of the world and you had power over everyone in the world, what would you use that power for? What would be the first thing you would do?
I would obviously, I think I would use that. I would use that opportunity to invite the people of the world to come and begin loving themselves, love one another, and have that spirit of unity. Because when you see the challenges that the globe is facing, wars here and there, based on religions, based on just mere simple things, you can really see that people in the world do not love one another. We are missing an element of love in our hearts as the people. And that causes, of course, a disunity, and we end up at that good level where you think that when you shoot like 100 people who are not from a different country or from a different race, you are actually doing well.
Okay, so what is your next projection after being a leader at the university level? What is your next projection towards leadership?
Of course, I think I am called I will do my best to ensure that I serve mankind at every level and stake of leadership. I feel I should just do my best and lead mankind.
Okay, so in leading, what are you looking at? Should we wait for you for these coming elections? 2026 is a general. We are re-electing our leaders. So, should we expect to see you there or not?
Well, expect me, but it will be subject to God's decision also. But you expect me 2026 in national in taking part in national leadership. Yeah.
What advice would you give to a young person who is out there doing something, doing anything? What general advice would you give them?
In fact, that's an important question, an important topic. You see, as the young people, our generation, there is something we are forgetting, especially in Uganda. We are a group of people that have grown up in a very peaceful environment. When we are having education, our lives are very okay. We have been immunized, we have hospitals, the life care is okay, the education, we have gotten an opportunity and we have studied. Many of these things, unlike the past, they are settled. So we grow in that kind of environment and we end up forgetting ourselves. In this I mean, we end up forgetting our tomorrow when we are now the people that are taking up the leadership of the country. Take an example. When you see when you're on social media and all these media platforms, someone who come up with a kind of manner or a fashion of doing things that is ridiculously not so, streamlined in nature, people who use obscene words here on social media, people who put on in a very fake fashion of, wearing, they're the people that are actually doing what? Making sense today. But this is because we have grown up in a very peaceful environment. We don't find ourselves responsible. And being responsible, when we say responsibility, you take responsibility right from your own life, your family, up to the country. But we have lost that sense of responsibility to find that you think about, how will I be tomorrow? If tomorrow I'm given, or if today I was given a constituency to lead or a government department or ministerial post, how would I handle it? And all we can do, it is spending a lot of time, social media, supporting, foreign footballs, and we end up forgetting our own self in actual sense. So my advice to my fellow young people is one, that whatever you do and that single thing is not important to your country, you may think that another person will do it for you. That's not how the story is. When you mess up with your country, you mess up at your own self. So as a generation, we should not mess up with the future of our country. I call upon every young man or young girl there to feel responsible of our country, Uganda, and therefore try to create a very responsible and surely presentable generation. And it is our responsibility. Yes.
Maybe you can give your final remarks to our viewers.
Our final remarks to viewers is one. It is to support the government of NRM, to love Uganda, and to stay peaceful.
Yeah, I mean, we are Ugandans and we are not
Sure.
from being Ugandans.
Sure.
So you just have to love
Sure.
your country and make
And
it a better
also support President Museveni in 2026.
country.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
honoring our invitation.
You're welcome.
And yeah, thank you so much for keeping with us until now. It has been The Profile, and you can find us on YouTube at Nyasengo Christine. Share and tap that notification bell if you haven't for more and more conversations of Profile. And on camera, we've worked with Ashraf Kanunu. Until next time, bye-bye.